Oh, what is this? What the heck? Where did you all come from? Uh, Hi. I remember around last year, at the end of last year, I was like, yo, if we can hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year, I don't know. I don't remember actually putting a goal for that, but here we are next year. The year's not even done, and we have 200 subscribers. Over 200. Like, I kind of feel like this is a little crazy. And since I never put a goal for us to do, I don't really have anything to do. So, I'm just going to do something simple. Reading some Reddit Am I the Asshole stories. We'll start out with this one. Am I the asshole for kicking my homeless friend out of my house? I, 32 male, live with my wife, 29 female, somewhere in France. Earlier this year, one of her close friends, 30 female, got dumped by her boyfriend and he kicked her out. She couldn't go to her mom because she lives with her grandma. And she said it was too stressful. Okay, I understand. But it could still have been an option. They live like 6 hours away by car from us. That's a pretty long drive. My wife is very kind and invited her to stay with us during our wedding prep. She slept in our room for 3 weeks, and the night of our wedding, it was supposed to be temporary. 3 weeks is crazy. Also 3 weeks for a lot of things is crazy. Right? I don't really know how I should do this. Let me know in the comments down below if I should just read the full story and they give my takes, or give my takes while I'm reading them. For now, I'm going to be giving my takes while I read them. So 3 weeks is a long time to stay with anybody. Unless it's like, even when it's family, like for a vacation or something, and I get it, don't have a home. But, like, she slept in your guys' room, right? Now, I'm not the biggest expert on relationships, but typically, couples, especially, couples that are about to get married, tend to, want to do things in the bedroom, right? Like, and I kind of feel like somebody sleeping in your bedroom would either kind of stop those activities entirely or make them super awkward, where like you have to ask for them to leave, or y'all just do it in a different area, which I don't know. I just kind of feel like not every couple's like that. I understand, but 3 weeks is a long time, especially for somebody to be sleeping in your room. But back to the story. It was supposed to be temporary, just until she figured things out. Whoa! Now it's been 5 months? She never said when she planned to leave. I kept asking her to look for a job, but every time it looked like she was going to start, she went on a vacation instead. Hold on. How do you have enough money? 5 months is crazy. You have enough money to go on a vacation, but not to rent out an apartment? For at least a month? We helped her update her resume and even sent her profile to a few companies. If we hadn't done it for her, she would have lost her benefits completely. She sent a total of 1 resume on her own in the last 10. That's crazy. In the last 10 months. As y'all can probably tell, I'm unemployed. But I send in at least 10 to 15 applications a day. Bare minimum. But sitting in 1 resume, she's just mooching off y'all, I'm not gonna lie. 5 months is crazy. And she's still sleeping in y'all's bedroom? That's what I want to know. But yeah, if you have enough money to go on a vacation, okay. I don't know if vacations in in France are different than vacation in the US, but vacations aren't cheap. Like, they cost. Unless you're like just going over to like a relative's house that just so happens to be in another state, or I guess country. Vacations can easily cost you up to $1,000. Easily. And I have no idea what the rent is like in France. But, like, you can get an apartment. Or you could pay the people who you're living with. She lives... Okay. She lives in our living room which is half of our flat. They live in a flat. I was thinking they would lived in a house. She keeps the shutters closed all day until she wakes up 12 or even 4 p.m. What? So we have no natural light. My wife and I both work from home. We do meetings from the kitchen on a stool because we don't want to wake her up. Nah, that's crazy. If you're interrupting my work, that's crazy. Sorry. She almost never does the dishes or cleans. And when she does, it's half done. I told her many times I don't feel comfortable entering the living room while she sleeps, but nothing changes. A few months ago, I finally asked her, when are you leaving? She looked confused, like, leaving what? I said, the apartment. Okay, once again, confirms they live in an apartment. She said, initially, she was planning for September. She never said a word about that. Now, maybe October. I was so relieved because that talk was so hard for me. Or it was hard for me. Okay, we got an unconfront. So it looks like both the wife and the husband here are two non-confrontational people. Which is not the greatest. Living in your house, from what I think, rent-free? That's kind of crazy. Then, mid-September, she left for a few weeks without telling us. She texted the morning that she was coming back that day. I asked, okay, but then you leave right after, ? She said, what do you mean leave? I reminded her of our talk. She said she didn't remember that. Then she said, if I don't find a job, I'll see what I can do during October. She didn't say that. I'm assuming he means during the initial argument. We talked again recently. I told her she uses ambiguity to her... Okay, once again, reading comprehension of a 4th grader. I told her she uses ambiguity. Okay. I'm just going to call it ambiguity, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it's pronounced. To her advantage. And that her silence is driving me crazy. She cried a lot, but I still talked. I tried to emphasize our feelings over hers during the conversation. I made her acknowledge and tell me what she understood of the conversation. I felt like she understood. You didn't tell us what she said. Fast forward to today. She still didn't give me a date. She just said, I think I leave next week and take my stuff in November. This time I said, no, you give me a date. And after that, you're not living here. She said, I don't know, which pissed me off. And I told her that after the 1st of November, she wouldn't be living here. She said, okay, but later told my wife she was leaving around November. Now I feel trapped in my own home and tired of the situation. I know we could be more firm with her establishing rules when she moved in, but am I the asshole for kicking my homeless friend out of my house? Not at all. Like, 5 months is crazy. And y'all live... I was thinking, before he said flat, I was thinking that they lived in, like, a house. And this was just like, it was just like their guest bedroom. Then they said sleeping in their room, which is insane to me. You're sleeping. But I was going to say, most sick people wouldn't be like, here, have my room. Instead of just, hey, go sleep on the couch. Because, like, you're in my house, cuh. But that's crazy to me. Sleeping in their room. It doesn't give us a time for how long she slept in their room. But we know that around, or at least at the 5-month mark, she was no longer sleeping in their room. So, for bare minimum, she was sleeping in their room for 5 weeks? I think it was 3 weeks. 3 weeks, yeah. For 3 weeks. And the wife and the husband, actually, I don't know if it's wife and husband. Oh, it is, never mind. The wife and the husband were both sleeping on the couch, or like in the living room somewhere. Which is insane to me. No, you're not the asshole at all. The fact she didn't get a job, the fact that it'd be different if you just couldn't find work. I completely understand just not being able to find work. But you're going on vacations. Vacations can easily cost you around $1,000. Easily. And the fact that it's plural vacation, that means you can find an apartment. You can find, and once again, I am kind of putting American standards on French people, and I have no idea if that's the same. But like I feel like if you can afford to go on multiple vacations, you can afford to like rent an apartment, at least for like a month. First comment says, stop working from home in the kitchen. You need to work from home in the lounge room. Open up all the shutters, play loud music or TV while you're having breakfast, kick her out of the bed, tell her she needs to get up because you two need to work. FFS, oh great, now I gotta look up more stuff. For fuck's sake, why did you even let her back in when she went off for 3 weeks? Exactly. I would have changed the locks, honestly. Maybe I would have. I don't know. Everyone thinks that they can do stuff until stuff actually happens. You should have packed up her stuff and had it waiting for her. Look, she doesn't have a job there. She doesn't need to stay there. Pack up all her stuff and get her a train, bus ticket to her mom's town for this weekend. SMH. Yeah, at least, at bare minimum, you should be living with your mom. And change the locks on every door. Agreed. Am I the asshole for letting my children order full meals instead of kids? Whoa, this is a very short one, okay? We went to a restaurant for my mother-in-law's B-Day lunch. When orders were being taken, sister-in-law announced that all the kids would be having kids meal tenders and fries with juice. My 9-year-old and 4-year-old eat adult meals. Oh, 2 chicken tenders and a handful of fries will not fill them up. So when the waiter got to me, I told her my kids will have an adult meal since I'm the one paying for them. So they ordered their meals, and my sister-in-law was pissed. She said I embarrassed her. Whoa, it made her kids question her because she told them that they were getting the same thing all the other kids were eating too. So am I the asshole? No. Even okay, to be fair, I was a fat kid growing up. Still am. But as a kid, both me and my brother was average weight, we wouldn't be getting kid meals. How old are they? But okay, to be fair, I understand for the 4-year-old, that's a little crazy. And a whole adult meal. But also, hold on. I'm ignoring one big thing. Original poster is the one paying for the food. Why the fuck does sister-in-law care? That is the biggest, like, that's just a non-issue. You know? Like, sister-in-law shouldn't give a fuck. Also, do y'all not discuss what you're gonna eat at a restaurant? Like, that's the main topic of conversation in a restaurant, right? You sit down, family, right? You're like, oh, yeah, this place is nice, nice establishment. So what y'all think about getting? See, because you want to judge based off what, they're getting. I feel like I've said, and right a lot, but I'm going to keep saying them, Because if you go to a restaurant, right, and y'all don't just, I said it again. If y'all go to a restaurant and you don't discuss what you're going to get, then prices can really quickly add up. Definitely, this person is never the asshole. But I will say a 4-year-old eating an adult meal is a little interesting, per se. As in, hey, once again, fat child, overweight adult. I don't think that a 4-year-old should be eating a full adult meal just because, like, that kind of, sort of, maybe eventually will lead to obesity because they'll eat more and more as they grow up. But who am I to judge, But no, this person's not the asshole at all. Not the asshole. Why would she select exactly? Why would she select your children's meal anyway? Maybe she wanted a burger or pizza. That's bizarre. I agree. I would not want to have a family lunch out with a 4-year-old crying because she wanted a hamburger. Yep, I agree. Hey, agree. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for being pissed at my friend for taking my dead baby's name? 2024, my husband and I were expecting our first baby. I was 5 months pregnant. When I had a placental abruption. And my baby passed away after I had emergency C-section. I was devastated and depressed. I'm still grieving and have a hard time being around babies and attending baby showers. After about 2 months postpartum, my husband's cousin's girlfriend asked me if we could talk because I gotta zoom in. My eyes are bad. Because she went through a miscarriage at 5 or 6 weeks, and she wanted someone to talk about her grief. I understand 100%. Also, before I should keep going, I just want to say, I am not a woman. I'm not sure if you can tell, I do not identify as female, and I am not a woman. I do not, have any idea what any of the stuff is like that y'all have to go through. Kind of feel like I'm digging myself into a hole here. But let me just say, my opinion, probably not valid on this just because I am a man. No matter what happens, I feel like I'm just gonna stop talking. Okay, I'm just gonna. I was on any shape or form to discuss the topic of pregnancy. I did tell her I am not the right person to be asking because. Okay, look, commas and periods. No, I'm sorry. To be asking because I am not in the best shape to talk about it. She begged me because she needed mental help, so I consolidated her. But in my head, I'm angry because she was practically comparing how we both had similar experiences. She was well aware of what we named our daughter, by the way. Wait, did I miss a sentence? No, I didn't. Okay. Similar experiences. She was well aware of what we named our daughter, by the way. We had chosen the name after myself and my husband. It was a combo of our own names. I love when couples do that. That is so cute. Her and I made Day of the Dead altars for our babies last year. Bonded, got closer eventually. January 2025, she tells me she's pregnant and can't wait. Mind you, I'm still grieving, but I'm happy for her. She found out she's having a baby girl this August in 2025. She told that she's having medical complications and will have to deliver sooner than expected. Her sister-in-law and I are planning a surprise brunch for her. Also plan to set up a baby corner and clean her house. I don't know what a baby corner is, but there is that. I go over one day to take her some fresh juice and this beautiful arrangement of flowers I had ordered for her. She goes into labor 2 days after I saw her. I go to the hospital, but I don't go into the room because I'm still grieving. But I want her to know I'm there for her. 2 weeks pass. My husband and I go to the friend's house to see the new baby. We take her homemade food, and I had ordered a bunch of other things for her and her baby. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. On Amazon, Jesus Christ. That were going to come afterwards because she couldn't have a baby shower. So, we're sitting there talking, and I ask her, what did you name your baby? She says, Isabella, Guadalupe Socorro. The great Nan's names. She laughed, and her baby daddy, call him baby daddy instead of her husband? She laughs, and her baby daddy does too. He keeps saying, yeah, that's her name. 3 weeks later, I'm doing her mother-in-law's hair, and I ask her about the baby, and I say, it's nice they named her Isabella. Oh God, I'm just gonna call her Isabella. She laughed and said, no, they didn't name her that. They named her Amelia or Emilia. That's the name that is the name of my baby. I'm pissed. I went to her house the next day and asked her why she chose that name. She says, I forgot. What? Okay, look. Hopefully I'm showing the text on screen so y'all can read this as I read it. Because, they're clearly... No, I'll stop. I have that name tattooed on my arm. I have her on my IG bio. We bonded last year. She said, I don't know who told you the name. I told only 5 people, and it was supposed to be a secret. You weren't supposed to know. Oh, she didn't know? Oh, thank you for sparing my emotions. Oh, okay. So, the friend who recently had a baby didn't want her to find out. I hate when people do shit like this. Okay. Oh, thank you for sparing my emotions, but fuck you. There's no way she would have forgotten, because if she had, she wouldn't have tried so hard to keep it a secret from me. So am I the asshole for being angry at her for using the name? I think I'm right for being pissed. Look. No, you're a good person. It's 45 minutes ago. It says you're in the right, and that person is mean-spirited, completely okay with hurt, with your being hurt. So consider her role in your life. I'm sorry. Yeah, nah, not the asshole at all. You're her friend. Well, we wouldn't be talking after this. Like that's such a like a low blow. For starters, the fact it would be different if she would have been like, "Hey, would you be okay if I named this baby after your lost baby?" So, to remember it, Or better yet, or not even better yet, this would have been worse yet, if she would have just named it that and then been told her immediately. But the fact that she named it that and then kept it a secret. Because it's like, fucking, how long? In all reality, how long did you think that you could keep that a secret? There is no fucking way in hell that you genuinely believed that would never come out. So she, nah. Hey, poster, not the asshole. Never in the fucking world would you be an asshole. Am I the asshole for not disclosing my medical history to a stranger? They wrote it, not the asshole. I, female 27, am an amputee. Ever since my amputation, countless of people have asked me what happened to me. At first, I wasn't bothered by it, and sometimes would poke fun saying a shark bit it off or something like that, or some other random story. However, as time progressed, it began to upset me more and more. I would get stopped in the middle of parking lots. In the middle of a parking lot's crazy. Stopped in a busy aisle of a store, or stopped on my way to and from appointments, etc. The part that bothered me the most is that they didn't even have the decency to introduce themselves, make small talk, or even ask me my name first. Children are actually infinitely more respectful than these grown-ass adults. That is always fucking crazy. What did Thumper say, or Thumper's mom say? If you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. And also, I kind of feel like as adults, we tend to mind our own damn business. Even if I saw somebody with half their skull open, unless they were actively bleeding and calling for help, I probably wouldn't approach them. Maybe that's just me, I'm socially awkward, but still. One morning, I was outside a hotel and I was smoking. This lady came outside and immediately asked, "What did you do to lose your leg?" Mind you, it was literally 6 a.m. I said verbatim, "You haven't said good morning, hello, or even asked me my name, yet you feel entitled to my medical history? Would you like that to happen to you?" She started cussing me out and said that I was rude and a cunt, etc. Am I the Jesus Christ, am I the asshole for saying this and feeling that it was out of line? TLDR, people who always ask me, this is the shortest story. TLDR, people always ask me what happened to my amputated leg as the first thing they say without even being cordial enough to introduce themselves or have small talk. Sometimes I tell them that it's rude to do so and they cuss me out. Yeah, not the asshole. I don't know why people even do this. The world is full of rude and insensitive people. That is also true. I feel like recently, there's been a whole lot of rude and insensitive people who don't like being called out for being rude and insensitive while continue to still being rude. Alright, I'll stop. Given that you seem open to joking about it, I would totally overplay it. Alright, yeah, I'm not reading all that. But still, yeah, person's not the asshole at all. Let me know what y'all think about these kind of videos. If I do more of these, I'll probably do better or get better at them in the future. But yeah, no, I'm out. Oh, right, happy 200 subscribers. Peace.